Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enlightened Entrepreneur. If you're just joining us for the first time, this program is sponsored and produced by World Outsourcing Solutions, which specialize in providing outsourcing services to companies here in the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and the US. And today's special show is all about your peer. And in fact, we have a special lady here who's been in the industry for a while, specializing in media. And I'm going to introduce her very shortly in a moment. But before I do that, if you haven't listened to any of our past podcasts, I want to invite you to go to worldoutsourcingsolutions.com/podcast. There's some great information for business owners. Doesn't matter wherever you are, just find something that helps you where you are. With some great guests that we've had over the last few years, and that will help your business to move forward. Now to today's interview. Christina Rowsell has been in the industry, in fact, has 20 years of broadcast as a professional in Canada. She's been focusing on making people laugh and smile, and she started her career flying over the city, reporting traffic, and to co-hosting morning shows, working in promotions, hosting locally produced TV, and producing and hosting a syndicated show across Canada. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for the first time, and really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to talk to our community here in the UK.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
To get us started, Christina, how did you get started in media?
My career in media started over 22 years ago. I was actually just a girl in high school and was listening to a radio program, and I thought, well, I could do that. And I did it. It's actually that simple. I ended up going to broadcasting school, getting my diploma in broadcasting, and simply starting out when I was 20 years old. I got a job as a traffic reporter in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that's really where it began. And I really loved the opportunity to just talk to people. When you're in radio is a fantastic medium. Podcasts, all of that. What I love about it mostly is that it's theater of the mind. And it gives you an opportunity to really just be who you are without people judging you for the way that you look. And from that's where I realized that was my niche. And I was a great storyteller. And I had the opportunity to speak to celebrities. I've had the opportunity to speak to the person next door. And at the end of the day, I really just wanted to listen to people and validate them and let them tell their stories, because everybody wants to be heard. And after 22 years, I just felt like I needed a little bit more. And so the last couple of years, I went back to school and I got my PR certificate. And from there, people were just starting to ask me if I could help them write a press release to help them increase their profile in the local media. And I started to build my business around those people who trusted my knowledge and my ability.
Incredible. And you've been focusing for the last 2 years helping people do exactly that. And you've had some tremendous success stories, like Tammy, one of our guests we had a few weeks ago on the show. Can you talk to us about your success stories for a moment?
Whenever I meet with somebody, we have to find their story. We have to find their why. And when we write a press release has to be three things. It has to, one, be newsworthy. It has to evoke emotion, and it has to be of value to the readers, viewers, and listeners. And Tammy really has all of that. Tammy, of course, is the author of the financial guides and their children's books that teach children how to care for their finances. There was books out there that parents could read to teach their children, but there wasn't anything for children. And so when I helped Tammy present this story, what we really looked at was what was happening in our own economy. Right. And then we presented that idea of how can we tie in Tammy's story into the local economy. And from that, you really hope that you get maybe just one story in the media. And Tammy was great. She ended up getting 6 stories. And now Tammy is actually doing interviews right across the country, also in the UK. So it's been very beneficial for her to take that initial step of writing a press release, getting her story out. If you don't tell the media about yourself, they won't know. So it's never a good idea to be the best kept secret. I want you to tell your story just like Tammy did, so that you can get that exposure, so that people know that you exist.
Incredible. And you've also spread your wings, so to speak. You have clients over here in the UK, and you've got another client you literally working with right now who is on the go that you're helping out. Talk to us about that.
Laval Saint Germain is a Calgary-based adventurer. And this time around, I say this time around because Laval has quite a story behind him. He's the first Canadian to climb Mount Everest without supplement of oxygen. He last year rode his bike across the Dempster Highway, which is in the Yukon in the middle of winter. And this year, he's decided he's going to do a solo row across the Atlantic Ocean. He leaves Halifax today, which is June 14th, and is expected to arrive in Brest, France, 90 to 100 days from now. But he's also doing it for a worthy cause. He is tying his fundraising efforts into the Alberta Cancer Foundation for clinical trials towards the Tom Baker Cancer Unit, which not only helps right here in our province, which is Alberta, but it actually helps everyone because of the clinical trials. It helps everyone around the world facing cancer. So with that, he's raising funds towards that. And by the time he's halfway through his journey, we're going to do a halfway press release, and we're actually going to send our release over to Brest, France, hopefully to get him some media coverage on the other end when he arrives. He's received national coverage in Canada, which has been fantastic. And so now we're watching his journey, and halfway through, of course, over in France, they don't know that he's coming, so we have to let him know. We don't want him to be a secret and just arrive. We want to make sure that they know about his efforts and that his trip is doable. So halfway through, we'll send that press release over to France.
Incredible. And if you are listening for the first time, you are listening to World Outsourcing Solutions podcast. And we have Christina talking about media solutions right now. Now, Christina, if you were to talking to a business owner who is considering hiring a media company or a media agent, somebody who do what you do, what criteria should they use in appointing the right person to work with, or the right company to work with?
I think a great place to start is to you need to know your what your story is and why do you want to tell your story. There's a big difference between advertising and using earned media. I say that because we need to decipher, you're trying to get out the word on a service or a product. Services are a little bit easier because there's a little bit of a story, and your services can help other people. When you've got a product is a difficult sell sometimes because you have to be careful on how you word it so that it's not advertising. You still need to find your why. You still need to find, how does your product make the news? How does your product evoke emotion? And how does it help the readers, viewers, and listeners? So really, that's the first step when you're looking at wanting to send a press release. And then if you're nervous and you don't really know how to send it and you want to hire somebody that does PR, and I say PR lightly, PR is public relations. And what I do is media relations. And media relations is a very teeny tiny part of public relations. When you do your PR, you have to look at your RACE formula. And so RACE stands for research, action, communication, and evaluation. And I'm actually in the C part, which is the communications. This is what earned media is. It's a tactic. It's a tactic that you want to use to help promote your business. So when you want to go to a PR company, they're going to look at your whole strategic communications plan. I do just that teeny tiny part in that plan, which is finding earned media. I don't know how it works over in the UK, but I do know that in Canada, for myself in Calgary, a lot of people actually don't like PR companies. Right. If you can start to build that beneficial mutual relationship with your local media on your own as a business owner, the chances are they'll actually look at your press release. Oftentimes, PR companies aren't personalized. unless they know specifically who they're sending it to. I know that when I was in the media, the one thing that drove me crazy was when I would get an email with a press release that said, "Dear editor," and then they would send me a press release that really didn't fit into what my show was all about. So when you have a PR company, make sure that PR company has a good rapport with the local media. And I say locally because there's really two branches of when you want to send out a press release. You want to send it locally, or do you want to send it nationally? I encourage new and small business owners to start locally. When you can increase your profile within your own community, it's actually going to look better when you start to go nationally because you've already done these interviews and the people in the media know that you're really good at doing interviews. So if you can, start on your own and research who your local media is. And if you don't know where to search or how to do that, start listening to the radio, start reading the local newspaper, start watching local television. That's going to start that beneficial mutual relationship between you and the media.
Incredible. And of course, you then reach out to them and make all the connections that are necessary. In line with that, Christina, where do you see business owners making mistakes? Say they know what you've just shared with us here, but they somehow keep making mistakes which sort of stop them from getting to where they want to get. What are the common mistakes?
Right. A lot of business owners will not write a proper press release. And like I said, the most important thing when you're writing a press release, number one, is it needs to be newsworthy. Number two, it needs to evoke emotion. You need to develop a story that's going to make the journalist, the producer, the editor, the reporter read that press release and actually care about what you're writing to them. And it needs to be of value to their readers, viewers, and listeners. Oftentimes, business owners send a press release and it looks like an advertisement. They use words that you would in an advertisement, special deals or learn more here. I don't want to learn more. I don't want to go to a website. If I'm a reporter and you're sending me a press release and you put in there, click here to learn more. No, tell me what it is. I want you to give away the farm for free. So what that means is you are going to be the expert in your field. So for example, if you're a business coach and you want to send a press release and you want people to start hiring you as a business coach, I want you to give away all your services for free to the media. Why? Because people still need your services and they need to see that you know exactly what you're talking about. A lot of times they want to hide the information, say, well, I don't want to give all the information away for free. If that reporter sees you as the authoritative speaker in your field, they're going to call you back for more. Say you're an accountant and you work for an accounting firm and you want to help people with their taxes. Send me a press release about the top 3 things somebody needs to know about their income taxes. You need to tell them how to do it well. Chances are they're not going to do it by themselves. They still need your services, but you've given them a helpful hint. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I find it's the same thing with our outsourcing services. We have a training that shows people how to do their social media right in a way that brings a lot of traffic to their website. But 9 times out of 10, the people we train, they say, you know what, this is far too much complicated. I don't have enough time. You do it for me. Now I understand what you're doing. So at the end of the day, they give you the business, provided it makes sense to them. And, it's logical and you can produce the results. Right.
And that's very common. You know what, if you're a plumber and you go and tell people how to install a toilet, they're still not going to do it. They still need your help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You touched on something very important on there when we were talking about the mistake they make. What is it that reporters are looking for, or the media is looking for, from business owners so that they can promote them?
Number one, they're looking for something that's going to work with the program that they're producing. If you sell, I don't know, you're a fashion designer and you make bracelets and you send your press release to somebody who does sports. I know that's a little extreme, but a lot of people do that. They're sending the wrong information to the wrong reporter. And they're like, well, I knew this person back when I met them, and maybe they'll do a story. You really want to make sure that when you're connecting with that reporter, the journalist, the producer, that you know exactly what they do. And that is a big mistake that a lot of people make. So if you're sending a story to an anchor who produces all kinds of different things, and they're going to send it off to their producers and saying, this is a great idea for a story, that's different. Then you can send them all kinds of different things. But if you have a very specific story and you are doing finances, you want to send it to the financial reporter. You want to make sure that you are addressing them for what they need you for, or they won't even look at your email. And the number one thing is to actually get that email read. Sending a press release does not guarantee that the media will do a story. Everybody's like, well, I sent a press release and I got nothing out of it. You have to follow up. The media get a gazillion emails a day. And you have to know when that person is on. For one, a lot of people start at 3:00 in the morning when they're doing a morning show. Know when that person is on. Know when they're going to be looking at their computer, so that your email doesn't get buried. And sometimes it will. And a lot of people are afraid to follow up. Don't be afraid to follow up. Don't be excessive and don't be annoying or pushy, but just follow up and say, dear media person, use their first name. Make sure you spell it correctly. I just wanted to follow up on a press release that was about this. Just wondering if you had the opportunity to look at it and if there's an opportunity for us to connect further. And following up is another thing that people don't do, but you should do. And because they're afraid of it. But a lot of people are also afraid that a press release is archaic. Nobody does press releases anymore. You got to find a way to tell the media that you exist. If you're not going to do a press release, how are they going to know you exist?
They won't.
Right.
Absolutely, they won't. And you have to be proactive with these things. I guess just like everything else in business, right. You have to tell them what you have, and of course they will, make you available to the community.
And then the other mistake that business owners make is when they write the press release, and I mentioned this earlier, was they make it like an advertisement. Don't make it an advertisement. Make it a story that they can use. So watch the news. If you have a product that you see another story in the news, watch how the reporter did that story. What was it that evoked emotion? What makes the listeners or the viewers or the readers care about that product? You've got to write it in a proper way. And I know in Canada, we use a guide called the CP Style Guide. And it's just the proper format for writing a press release. And if you write a proper press release, you'll actually be taken more seriously and it's a little more professional. And do not, I don't know if it's the same over there, but I'm sure it is. Do not make it more than 2 pages. And if you can, make it 1 page only. If you look on my website, you'll see all kinds of examples of press releases. All of my press releases are 1 page.
Incredible. What's the thinking behind that? Because the assumption is the longer you make it, the more convincing it becomes.
No, they don't have time. Twitter has been a godsend to the people in the media. It's quick, it's in, it's out. I know what it's about. I know how to get it. I know where to go. Done. If you can, it's the basis of your story. Once you get the interview, then you can elaborate a little bit more, but you have to make such an impact on those first few words. Even the subject line in your email has to make an impact. You have to make them care and want to do a story. You have to find those 3 things: newsworthy, evoke emotion, and value. And it does. I had one woman, God bless her, she sent me, a note saying, I just need you to look at my press release. I don't understand why I didn't get any media attention. And her press release was 8 pages. And I said to her, I didn't know what you did until the 3rd page. So you really need to dumb it down. I had another woman who sent me her information for her press release, and it was 3,000 words. And I took her information and I dumbed it down to 500 words. You really have to pull out what is the heart and the meat of the story. What is the part that the media want? Where's the story? Where's your why?
Incredible. You are sharing some amazing tips here, Christina. I really appreciate that. You mentioned earlier on that if a business owner is getting started, they should start, on their own in their local area. Are there any tools or resources that you can recommend to help them get started?
Google.
Google.
Really, it's all out there. Everybody has shown you how to write a press release, the tone, what the journalists want. It all depends on the city that you're in. If you're in a big city, where are you located?
London, England.
Right. So, I mean, you've got some pretty big companies, media outlets that would be doing stories. So in a big city, it's a little bit more difficult to make a connection with the actual people that you want to connect with sometimes. In a smaller community, it's a little bit easier. But if you don't even know where to start, pick up the phone and call the media outlet. You're going to get the receptionist and you're going to say to them, hello, my name is, I would like to send a press release. Who do I send that to? They'll probably tell you, or they'll send you to a website, or it's a great start. You just need to know who to send it to. And if you want to know how to write your press release, I would Google similar companies as yours and see if they have a press room or a media room. And I would look at their press releases. It doesn't hurt to just look around. You just need to find the proper formula and what they want and how they want to see your press release. Again, in Canada is the only one that I can speak for, and I'll see how it goes. I'll let you know what happens when I send it to France if they look at me and think I'm an alien. But I have to get it translated somehow to French. But you just have to find out what it is that they're looking for. And again, in Canada, we use the CP Style Guide, which is Canadian Press Style Guide.
Incredible. Continuing on the same subject of what they need to do next, assuming that they have done all these things, where do you see major opportunities when it comes to media?
Well, earned media is an opportunity for you to increase your profile, because the assumption is if the media are doing a story on you, you are already a credible source.
Absolutely.
And that's where that opportunity comes in, where if the media trust you, then people should trust you. And that's the advantage of sending a press release, is if you can get in and get a story, then you also want to utilize that story and keep it living. And today's world, you've got social media, put your story on your website and shout it out that, thank you to this media outlet for sharing our story, and give a link to that actual media outlet's website to thank them, because they want you to go to their website as well, because they have advertisers on there.
Absolutely.
But also put it on your website, put it on your social media, and help it live a little bit longer so that people can see who you are. So now it's been in the media and you had, a minute or even 15 seconds of fame by getting your story out to the media, but it's up to you to make it live longer.
Absolutely. I love that. We did that here. In fact, we are also doing it now, by being associated with other experts. It creates this level of credibility, which, make getting clients much easier. Like you rightly say that, if the media trust you, people say, oh, they must be good. And of course, you have to deliver in your service that you're providing. Otherwise, you're not going to get all the benefit of the referral strategy that you need to use, which we all know works.
But always seek out media training. If you're sending a press release and you have never been on television, you've never done a radio interview or a print interview, make sure you find somebody who can do media training. And that training will guide you on how to cope with nerves, because maybe you've never done this before, how to talk to the camera in different settings, whether you have a reporter coming to you or if you're in a studio. You need to understand green screens. Once you get into a television studio, if you've never seen a green screen, you're going to be shocked, because the whole entire studio is green. You don't need to know how it works. You just need to understand that it's there so that you're not shocked when you show up on your interview. When doing a radio interview, just have somebody guide you on how to speak slowly. People speak so fast because they're so nervous. So if you get the opportunity to get a media interview, promise me that you'll get media training. That way you'll get asked back for more.
Incredible. I love the fact that you get asked for more. So the better prepared you are, the more chances you'll be asked for more. That leads us naturally to want to find out how people in our community, in our audience today, can connect with you, maybe, to get that media training, or maybe use one of your services. I know you've got a special package that you offer business owners. Can you talk to us about how individuals or business owners can be in touch with you?
The easiest way is definitely my website, ChristinaRowsell.com. And Christina's with a CH. Rowsell is ROWSELL. And just inquire, first off, about consulting. I give free consultations just to find out if you're ready to send a press release. Now that I've been set up with Skype, thanks to you, I could do media training over Skype, where we go through the different processes of different types of interviews and how to conduct yourself properly. But even writing a press release, I can certainly help you go through the process to finding out how to create your story. I actually have several blogs on my website right now, and I explain to people, this is where they can find that resource. If they're looking to write their own press release, I talk about how to find your story within your story. And that's what the media want. And then there's also some training on there, tips on how to do public speaking and how to speak with a smile and how to convey a better message. So the best way to get in touch with me and to learn a little bit more about what I do and how I can help anyone is just to go to my website, ChristinaRowsell.com.
Incredible. You also have this special package that you do. Can we just talk about that for a moment?
The services that I offer?
Yes, the one we talked about earlier on.
Right. So when it comes to media, doing a media release, that's where you start. What's your story? How do you want your story to be told? How do you present your story? Basically, what I can do is I can help you get your story talked about. I can teach you how to present it to the media so that it actually gets looked at. And then I offer media training on how to present to the media through television, radio, and print. And that, of course, gives you media exposure and it increases your profile. So that's the package that I offer.
Beautiful. And if you want to get connected with Christina, just send us an email to support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com or go straight to her website, which is ChristinaRowsell.com. That's ChristinaRowsellS.com, and you'll be able to connect with Christina. Now, final words for our business owners who are looking to get started here, Christina.
Just believe in yourself and don't be a best kept secret. That's really what it's about, is you have to find your story and then you have to tell your story. You have one with your business, and it's about connecting with the right people to tell your story. You can do that on social media as well. I'm on social media. Love to have you there. And really just remember that it has to be three things: newsworthy, evoke emotion, and of value to your readers, viewers, and listeners.
Incredible. I just remember this question, which I always get asked. It's about you, maybe as an individual. You are a business owner like our audience. You're not just an expert, working for someone else. How do you cope with pressure or stress when you are running your own business as an individual where you are?
You really have to have a great support group. You have to have those cheerleaders in your back pocket, the people that encourage you to move forward. You have to have those people like Tammy Johnston. I can't say enough about her. She's amazing, and she's encouraging, and she's just a beautiful woman. Her heart is right where I need her heart to be. She's just a great cheerleader. And I think any business owner really needs to understand that you need to have those people. You also need to ask for help. You can't not do this without, getting help. I really burnt myself out in the beginning. I have 2 small children. I was doing about 4 different jobs at the same time, but I was working late into the night. So asking for help, right from childcare to even getting data systems for your own work, that's really helped me to continue working in and on my business.
Incredible. If you were to do it all over again, starting a company, knowing what you know now, Christina, what would you do differently? Maybe less of or more of in running your own business? I know it's a difficult question, but
it is a difficult question because I don't know that you can go back. I think that you need to learn, you need to make mistakes in order to move forward effectively. If you make a mistake, that's when you learn how to not do that. But my mistake isn't the same mistake that everybody else will make. I mean, my mistakes were thinking that I could do all this on my own and without the support group. So really what I've learned now is that believe in those people who say, is there anything I can do to help? And say, yes, there is. How do I do this? Where do I find somebody to do this? I mean, eventually I started outsourcing, but you can't do that in the beginning. You can't afford it. Now I have people helping me with social media. I have freelance writers that help me because I can't write everything. Right. So in the beginning, you are doing it all. But know that in time, when you start to make money, because you will, that you can get extra help.
That's right. That's right. In fact, in my own experience of running a business, is if you do it yourself in the beginning, you will have a much better understanding of your own businesses, all the processes. You don't have to know them in and out, but you have a general idea of what needs to be done. So when you appoint somebody or you're going to delegate to someone, you know what you're talking about, and they know that you have an idea of what you're talking about, and you are in a better position to manage your whole processes as well.
And the hard part is delegating. And the hard part is letting go of those reins, because you know that you do your job well. And to trust somebody else to do it is a very difficult task, but you have to trust your own instincts on who you're hiring to do that. You can't do everything on your own. When you run a business, you are really good at that particular job, but nobody taught you how to do the books. Nobody taught you how to advertise your company. Nobody's teaching you how to do social media. You're good at what you do. So in time, you start to outsource those things. But in the beginning, learn as much as you can. The more versatile you are in any industry, the better off you are.
Absolutely. The better off you are. Well, Christina, we are coming to an end with our time together here. But we really appreciate you being here with us. And I'm sure our business owners in our community here have had a much clearer understanding of what they need to know when it comes to media solutions. And if you're listening and you just caught us in the middle, we want to invite you to visit Christina's website, which is Christina Rowsell. That is CHRISTINAROWSELL.com to get in touch with Christina. Once again, thank you so much, Christina, for being here with us today.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. I appreciate it.
Incredible. And thank you for being here with us as well. And I wish you a great day ahead. Apply the information that you've learned today, and you're going to see a great difference in your business. With that said, have a great day, everyone.